church. Sometimes I get stoned in my backyard, lay off in the tall grass so my view is the stars. I think about nothing, get to clear my thoughts from all the thunder and lightning, so I feel a spark. Sometimes I get higher than the Colorado Rockies, hoping that the county sheriff don't stop me. Like Charlie Daniels said, you shouldn't smoke at dope, but damn it, I can't help, I love Rolling Stone. With the windows rolled down and the radio up, sweet tea full in my solo cup, listening to the humming of the 44, sounding like a concert. I'm a beat up door, arm hanging out the window, smiling away, smoking on some ground where the cattle graze. Charlie Daniels said you shouldn't go smoke at dope. Hell, I can't help, I love Rolling Stone. Yeah, I love Rolling Stone. Smoke rolling round the cab with the dome light on, looking like a stage for a Leonard Skinner song. Hanging out with Mary Jane, but she's making the time go slow. Making memories with my buddies through the thick green smoke, puff passing out the windows of my old Tahoe. Lifted so damn high, I can't come down, driving under the speed limit in my town. With the windows rolled down and the radio up, sweet tea full in my solo cup, listening to the humming of the 44, sounding like a concert. I'm a beat up door, arm hanging out the window, smiling away, smoking on some ground where the cattle graze. Charlie Daniels said you shouldn't go smoke at dope. Hell, I can't help, I love Rolling Stone. Yeah, I love Rolling Stone. There ain't nothing like the swaying of a windy back road, baked out like a barn full of tobacco. I know Jesus drank wine, but I bet he wouldn't mind sitting with me in my Chevy, passing around a few times. With the windows rolled down, the radio up, sweet tea full in our solo cups, listening to the humming of the 44s, like a concert out my beat up door. Arm hanging out the window, smiling away, smoking on some ground where the cattle graze. Oh, Willie said there's not nothing wrong with smoking dope. So light one up and let's go rolling.
Do. Let's go, Rolling Stone. Let me turn that off. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Daylight savings time, day number 2. Hope everybody's doing good. What else is high? The price of gas. Pollock, yep, coming in with the gas right on time. So petrol jumped from $1.27 a liter to not a dollar, 127 euro a liter. Is that what that is? To 150 since Thursday. Thank you, Trumpet. Yeah, what a motherfucker, right, Pollock? And I was just looking at this thing about Venezuela, where let me pull it up.
Venezuela, think of it, 80 million so far. We just started. 80 million barrels of fuel. Think 80 million barrels of oil. Think of what that means. Think of a stadium with 80,000 people. Now say 80 million. That's what we've taken, and it's great for Venezuela, and it's great for us. It's great for us, great for Venezuela. And a lot of it, like that, a lot of it comes right here. And with our new friend and partner, Venezuela, we're going to do a lot of other things.
So that kind of begs the question, why is the price of gas going up? I mean, no brainer, Iran, but we just took all this oil from Venezuela, allegedly. And maybe not took, but he said we struck a deal with them. And so why is that not lowering the price of gas? Right? I don't know. It makes no sense. Here in Washington State, we have so many taxes. Let me ask the computer something really quick, just so I have a reference. Adam, hello. If gas is 127 euro, what would that be converted to dollars per liter? It's 127 euro per liter. Put that to dollars per gallon. I'm going to ask the computer real quick, just so I have like a. Wow. Yeah. So you guys, man, even at what do we say that was 127? Yeah. So yeah, that's already expensive. Holy shit! And now it's $1. It's 150. What about 150 euro? God, that'd be $6.50 a gallon. I mean, that's just that's insanity. So you're even more expensive than we are in Washington, because we're pushing $5 right now, so we're pushing close to 127. A liter 4.5 times makes a gallon. Okay, 4.5 liters is a gallon. Okay. Do you think it's because they went to use electric cars? Well, I definitely think it has something to do with that, Adam. I think it has to do with forcing people's hands. It's like predictive programming or, just propaganda. A lot of people will think, well, hey, if I have an electric car, I don't have to worry about the price of gas. So I think I'm going to buy an electric car next. And a lot of people will probably do that. Is that the right move? I mean, who knows? Personally, if I had the money, I'll probably buy both. But for somebody like me who doesn't, and just every penny counts, I'm sticking with the gas. At least for now. I don't trust that electric crap. It gets cold. The weather affects it. There's so many. I think there's just so. Does anybody think that electricity is going to be cheap ever again? I mean, maybe. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses off so I can't see the chat. Give me 1 second. They're dirty. Every day I wake up, my eyesight gets worse. There we go. You're reading it's about $8 a gallon. Damn. Good Lord. It's all because of the war in Iran. They're much more affordable now. The cars are more affordable, right, Adam? They make the cars. It's like buying a printer. The ink cost. The ink is going to cost you 5 times as much as the printer by the time, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that, right? I mean, Yeah, this is bad news, man. Nobody voted for this. He's making us all look bad. He's putting us all in danger. He's costing us everything. He's a fucking big fat liar is what he is. Mossada. What's up, Tommy? How are you, sir? Yeah. 7 people died now. 7 soldiers. They busted those guys for posting old footage of the honorable transfer of the dead soldiers. They weren't really there doing that, apparently. He is insane. You know, it's like we need Trump back. He's been infiltrated by a parasite. You know, there's those parasites that take over a grasshopper and lead it to the water, and then the grasshopper jumps into the water and commits suicide so that the parasite can have its babies in the water. I mean, I'm pretty sure Trump is infected by a parasite that's controlling his body. A parasite called Zionism or Israel or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. You know what I mean? The cabal. They got him. They got him good. But we'll get into it real quick. Let's see. I don't have a whole lot of videos. I got some Jeopardy. Because, you know, honestly, when it comes to the war, and Tommy said something about the other day about the fake videos, I feel like everything cannot be verified. You know, they can just, and they can, and they are just saying whatever they want to say. You know, if you don't want to take the time to fact check the post, you know, look at the source, who made the post, you know, like I seen one report where Benjamin Netanyahu's brother was killed in a strike. And I just did like a quick amount of fact checking, and then, no, it's not true. So I'm like, man, fuck this. I don't even want to waste my time trying to be an expert or trying to talk about anything that could not even, you know, we might just be wasting our, you know what I mean, chasing our tail. Well, I just threw a piece of paper onto my desk. I spun it and it just happened to land in my coffee. Nice. Let's get to it. The government you elect is the government you deserve. So true. And they're all fucked, you know. J.D. Vance saying his own mother struggled with opioid addiction.
You know, a couple times I was one of those scared little kids who had to call the firefighters, who had to call the EMTs. You know, my own mother struggled with opioid addiction for a very large chunk of my life. And I remember when she was having a particularly dark moment and she needed some help. I needed some help. Our family needed some help. I picked up the phone, I called 911, and a number of brave, professional, compassionate firefighters from Middletown, Ohio showed up. And they calmed my mom down, and they made it possible for us to go on with the rest of our day. They made a kid who was scared to death feel like he had an ally in this world. I will never forget that. I will never forget also when we had to call 911, it wasn't a firefighter, it was an EMT who came and took my mom to the hospital because she had had a very terrible overdose. And I remember holding her hand, hoping to God that she would be okay, that she would wake up. We know a lot of our people have not woken up when they have those opioid overdoses, but by the grace of God, my mom did wake up. And by the way, she's now been clean and sober for north of 11 years. We celebrated her 10-year sobriety. Thank you.
You know, it's all well and good, J.D. Vance, but I just don't believe you. I don't believe anything you say. Ever since the Charlie Kirk assassination, and you body snatched his body before they even did an autopsy, I just don't believe anything you say. And I don't think you guys have done anything to stop the opioid addiction in this country, other than say that you've kicked out the dangerous criminals that were brought in. But that doesn't do anything for the people who have had their lives destroyed in this country, and just holding people accountable like the Sackler family for pushing drugs. The Bushes, the Sacklers, the Clintons, nobody ever gets held accountable for it. You know, they took out the Venezuelan leader Maduro, and they took out the Ayatollah Khomeini guy. Either one of those guys responsible for pushing drugs? I mean, Maduro, I didn't even know who the fuck that was. You know, I knew what fentanyl was for years and years and years. I never connected Maduro. I connected China, Mexican cartels, and our government. And all three of those guys are still fully operational. So, first off, you can call 911 and they'll put you on a hold today. Not sure what that is. How can addiction be stopped? It will never stop. Drugs won't stop. No, they won't stop because, I mean, that's like a complicated issue, right? Because there's lots of beneficial drugs, you know, and I'm pro recreational drugs myself, you know, if they're safe. Marijuana, it is impossible to die from marijuana. I mean, maybe it's not impossible. You would have to set out to die. You would have to say, you know, and you could die drinking water too, but it's, you know, it's that safe. Psychedelics, I'm just for the legalization of it. Like, don't put us in jail, but I'm not for like promoting it. But there's lots of medicinal purposes. I mean, it's an adult subject, a complicated issue. The problem is that when it comes to like these serious addictions to fentanyl and OxyContin and Vicodin and Percocet and Valium and methadone, those drugs, that's the government. That's just stone cold what it is. That's all just the government pushing drugs on its own people. Those problems wouldn't exist if the government didn't make those drugs. It's just the way it is. I mean, do you know anybody that has an OxyContin factory? You know, you need like all kinds of stuff to pull that off, like poppy seeds and, you know, the opium plants or whatever the shit that shit is. They got to milk it, and it's a long process. Then the synthetic drugs, apparently you need like 13 precursors from China, which China's the only place that has like the raw materials. So, you know, he lies about everything. If Trump pulled his pants down, he'd blow him. Yeah. Cuba's next. And the drugs will continue, and that's the problem, you know. And it's like they just kind of pivot. You know, this is, you know, Iran has nothing to do with drugs. So that whole thing basically was just about taking oil in Venezuela. The drug problems continue. And, you know, and when they push the flow of drugs, when they're the ones pushing the drugs, they can bomb Venezuela and temporarily restrict the supply to the United States and say, you know, and maybe people would, they don't even have to talk about it. People will just then think, oh, this had an impact on the flow of fentanyl. You know, they took out some little dinghy boats out in the Caribbean with all kinds of fentanyl. You know, I have this argument with my buddy a couple times. Like, you know, your best friend you talk to a little bit differently. You know what I mean? Like, are you that stupid to think that, you know, blowing up those boats had anything to do putting the dent in the supply of drugs to the United States? You know what I mean? What that really looks like on a daily basis, how many pills literally are consumed in the United States on a daily basis. Those little fucking boats don't have anything to do with it. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I mean, I'm all for people beating the addiction, and I'm very sympathetic to it. I'm just saying that we would not have more than half of the problems that we have if it wasn't for the government pushing the drugs themselves and all the laws with big pharma. And that's why I don't go to the doctor, because, and I think more and more people are finding out that that's what the doctors do, is they're just drug pushers. Let's try this on you. Let's try that on you. Anyway, we will move on. But I am very sympathetic to people, and I too have been addicted to pills for a very short amount of time, and so I know what it is. I know what it's like to be addicted to opiates, and it's not fun. The withdrawal from it is not fun. It's so bad that it makes you either do the drug so you're not on withdrawal again, or do something like methadone or Suboxone, which are worse. Suboxone you'll be on for the rest of your life. That's what my ex had to do, and as far as I know, she's still on it. Like we're talking like 12 years. In 12 years, it's 12 years later, probably still on it, and I haven't talked to her. It's not good, it's not good. And that's why, it's so messed up that the government does that to us. You know what I mean? If it was just, coke and weed and that kind of stuff, we would still have problems, but not nearly the problems that we have with opiates, It's all to deflect from the Epstein files. Yeah, that's definitely, a lot of people are calling the Iran war the Epstein war, because it is. It's put on by the people, orchestrated by the Epstein files, for sure. Man, I'm exhausted today. I went out, I was going to go out and sell again today, but I told myself, don't burn yourself out, because I'm on a mission this month. I'm just on a mission for forever. But I did 5 days in a row, and I was gonna go out again today, but my supply is dwindled, so I'm just gonna work in the kitchen all day today. Take the girls out for pizza tonight, and I might either go out tomorrow or definitely back out there by Wednesday and put in another 5 days. Even though I got to babysit, I'm going to work in the morning for a couple hours, 3-4 hours each day. So, and then I'm going to have my chocolate strawberries and my banoffee pies in better packaging and in the Rockridge Country Market on Friday. I got these new boxes and labels coming tomorrow. And I told Misty yesterday, it's like, I got to do better. I kept bringing up the cheesecake people. I was like, I got to up my game. I was like, these guys are crushing me. And I'm starting to get a little jealous. Patty, hello. Good to see you. So I got to step up my game. Myron predicts that Israel will betray America once they defeat Iran and won't need U.S. assistance anymore. And of course they will. I don't think any of us are fans with Israel and what they've done to the United States. Lots of us have known that these Zionist people from Israel, we won't call them Jewish, we'll just call them Zionists from Israel, have been fucking over the United States. We got hip to it a few years after 9/11. When we realized that the guy who owned those towers, he put down like I think he put down $13 million for Larry Silverstein on the Twin Towers. 13 million. He turned it into 3 billion, 3.5 billion, something like that. And it was only like literally days later. Let me see if I can find out. How long from when Larry Silverstein put his insurance policy on the Twin Towers did the Twin Towers come down? How much did he put down and how much did he make? Let's see if ChatGPT will even answer that question. In July of 2001, so 2 months before, he signed a 99-year lease from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. So 49 days. The upfront payment, about $14 million of his own money. Total lease deal, about $3.2 billion. Before closing the lease, Silverstein arranged about $3.55 billion in property insurance covering terrorist attacks. After the attacks, a major legal fight happened over whether the destruction of the two towers counted as one attack or two attacks for insurance purposes. After years of lawsuits with insurers, total insurance payout, $4.55 billion. The money did not go straight into his pocket. It was largely used to rebuild the site, including 7 World Trade Center, 1 World Trade Center, other redevelopment at Ground Zero. Seven weeks, $14 million to $4.5 billion. I mean, that has to be the greatest investment of all time. And I mean, you just got to kind of see it for yourself. And this is ChatGPT. You know, I'm not doing this from some weird website. This is documented. Lease signed July 2001. Towers destroyed on September 11th. Personal cash put in $14 million. Insurance collected for rebuilding $4.55 billion. Mr. Larry Silverstein. And remember, he wasn't there that day because his wife made him a dermatologist appointment because his skin was bad, although he was there every other day and would have been on the top of the building at Windows, which is the restaurant that they had.
Here's what you need to understand if Israel actually beats Iran and why every American should actually not be wanting Israel to be the hegemon in the Middle East. Here's what's going to happen. If they become the hegemon in the Middle East, no one is going to stand in their way. If no one stands in their way, they don't need our assistance anymore. If they don't need our assistance anymore, what are they going to do? They're going to betray us like they've always done. They've already been caught multiple times selling secrets to the Russians and the Chinese, having American spies, betray us to the Russians for benefits of Israel. So,
yeah, we all know that. We all know it. What he's saying there, and yeah, you're right, Adam. I guess everyone forgot they told certain people not to show up. Although Harry Lutnick let all his employees die, he wasn't there. The guy who's Trump's handler now, Department of Commerce, Harry Lutnick. He had like over 100 employees die, and his brother allegedly. And he's now worth $3 billion as well. They all made several $1 billion payouts on that. It's wild. And here they go. They continued. And you know what's crazy about? I watched a drone fly into a building, and it was packed with explosives, basically bombs. It's got a huge bomb on it, and it flies into the side of the building. And they have all these drones flying into the side of buildings and blowing up the buildings, but not one of the buildings collapsed from the top down at free fall speed. In fact, I don't think any of them really collapsed at all, like the entire thing. Definitely not with any steel beams in it. And so it's kind of funny how a commercial airplane with jet fuel, that definitely does not burn hot enough to melt steel brings down 2 towers from the top to the bottom, you know, in their footprint, right on top of themselves. And yet drones that have explosives meant to kill people and inflict as much damage as possible don't do that to buildings. It doesn't make any sense. And I put that on X, and I did a comment on a video of that yesterday, and it got like 13,000 views, the comment, which I think that's the most I've ever had on X. It reminds me of how my dad's generation refused to believe our own government killed JFK. Yes. Just more proof that they knew those buildings were going down. It's crazy that we kind of accept that. Yeah. And the fact that Donald Rumsfeld came on, you know, the Secretary of Treasury or whatever, the day before on September 10th, and said, we're missing trillions of dollars and we're going to do an audit because we don't know where it is. And then the section of the Pentagon that was going to do the audit is where the plane or missile or whatever hit the Pentagon. It destroyed that building. So no more audit. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, we could do a whole show on 9/11. It reminds me how my dad's generation refused. Oh, yeah, we already did that one. All right, well, let's move on from Myron Gaines here. This is really frightening because I believe that this is probably kind of accurate.
I'm not sure if this statistic is correct. You can tell me if this is correct or not, right? But apparently 20% of all American white girls in their 20s are on OnlyFans, something like that, all right? I'm not sure if you've heard this, but just the idea that you have a percentage of American white girls in their 20s all on OnlyFans, that's just incredible to think about, okay? And you know, like the people joke that that's what America wants to do. America wants to liberate Iranian women so that they can go on OnlyFans and enjoy American corruption and decadence. All right.
So this statistic says on Google that for women aged 18 to 24, roughly 14% are active on OnlyFans. So it's 18 to 24, right? Imagine it's probably 20% or maybe 30% if you go up to 35, 40 years old. And the percentage of these women that are white, it's about 70%. So, and that's the narrative you're hearing from the Trump people. They're saying, oh, look, the libtards are getting owned. And they're posting images of Iranian girls stripping free of their niqab, their oppressive niqab, and now they're naked, which is so ridiculous because it's the conservative right saying the libtards are mad that women are on OnlyFans.
Yeah. So again, OnlyFans, I think, is the best indicator of a society in decline, right? So the Roman Empire, when it declined, the main problem was that women refused to have children. And so everyone was freaking out, like, what can we?
Yeah, well, the problem is that I don't even know why OnlyFans exists. And, not to offend anybody, but if you go on OnlyFans, I feel like that's a problem. I've never once been to OnlyFans. It's not, like it should, in my opinion, it should not even exist, OnlyFans. And so we don't need a generation of girls prostituting themselves online. I mean, I don't know. Ben Shapiro says that reparations for Black people don't work, but then he gets called out about reparations for Holocaust survivors.
I think that on a sort of public policy level, reparative policies don't tend to be nearly as effective as people want them to be, historically speaking.
I mean, for Jewish people.
In what way?
Jewish people that receive reparations.
You mean Holocaust reparations, for example, from Germany? So I think that first of all, that there was like a gigantic fight actually in Israel over whether Holocaust survivors should accept reparations from Germany, because the idea was that it's allowing them to expiate their sins of the past, and they shouldn't be allowed to expiate those sins, and it's allowing them to sort of buy off the history for 50 grand or whatever it is. But that is not the reason why Israel has become successful economically. Like just on a success level, the reality is that cutting people checks rarely makes them more successful from the government. What usually makes people more successful is a determined attempt to become the things that the meritocracy demands of you. Right. So there were no long
I do
scale.
think the U.S. foreign assistance for Israel has helped this financially.
Well, I mean, the U.S. foreign assistance for Israel actually is a bargain for the United States because Israel doesn't need the money. I've said this before.
Well,
Israel,
give it to us.
I mean,
we'll take it.
That's fine.
The black community would gladly take it.
That's in it.
I can't speak for everybody.
It's like $3 billion a year. We should point out at this point that we spend, I think, $6 billion a year on our military bases in Japan, $5 billion a year on our military bases in Germany. We spend an awful lot of money. That helps an awful lot of other countries. Israel has to spend all of that money, by the way, in the United States on military product. So all of the money that we send to it, we actually don't send money to Israel. We send military product to Israel that is made in the United States. And so it actually is a subsidy to the American defense industry. And there is a deal with Israel where Israel does intelligence sharing and also develops its own tech and can't disseminate it to the world. So, for example, the helmets that our F-35 pilots use, those are Israeli developed helmets like that we can see over the horizon, for example. That's because Israel developed technological add-ons. So the idea that this is sort of like a zero sum, the money goes out, we get nothing back, that's actually not true. I think.
Are we really supposed to believe that a country the size of New Jersey has all these geniuses over there that invent all this great stuff? I don't think so. I think what they do is they go around and kill people like Charlie Kirk and take it. I mean, how many stories have we heard about people that, invented something or were working on something and boop, oh no, they got in a plane accident. Oh no, they killed themselves by shooting themselves in the back of the head 3 times. I mean, please. Please, please, please. Netanyahu and his wife's dirty clothes and bed sheets are washed and ironed in the White House. This lady's going on a little rant. People aren't happy. I mean, it's one of those things where it kind of unites everybody, where maybe the libtards and, I'm not going to lie. It kind of puts in perspective, like the lady. I never agree with good protesting and stuff like that. But that lady they shot in the face in Minnesota and the other dude. I mean, what are we doing here?
We are the slaves. We are the slaves. This goy slop, they look at us as goy, as lesser than. We are lesser than. We are the ones to do their dirty work, to clean up their garbage. Look at what Sarah Netanyahu does every time she comes to America. She brings trunk loads and suitcases of dirty laundry so the White House laundromat people can clean her dirty sheets and iron them. You think I'm making it up about the goy and what they think of us? That's what they think of all of us, 90.
I think that lady needs to calm down a little bit, but she's not wrong. I was thinking the other day, like, what about the Democrats? Like when Joe Biden was in office, where was Israel then? I don't follow politics like so closely. I didn't anyways when Joe Biden was in office. I mean, I was preoccupied with making sure all my stuff didn't get stolen, outside, because the neighborhoods was so bad back then. But where is Israel when the Democrats are in office? I think that they're there. I think that a lot of people in the Democratic Party are all part of this whole thing. They don't care either way. You can vote either way. It's not going to matter. Is what I'm trying to say. This guy who was on Sneeko says that Jared Kushner, who is Ivanka Trump's husband, is the new Jeffrey Epstein.
When Jeffrey Epstein died, who replaced him? And then you ask yourself, okay, who is Jared Kushner? And why is he involved in Ukrainian peace negotiations? Why is he an envoy to Israel on behalf of Trump? And why is he participating in the Iranian peace negotiations? Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are envoys who went to Ukraine to negotiate with Putin to end the war. They met with Zelensky to end the war. They are very close with Netanyahu. And then they represented Trump in peace negotiations with the Iranians. Who are these people, right? Jared Kushner is a replacement for Jeffrey Epstein. And that all makes sense if you think about it that way. And so what are these guys trying to do? they're trying to fulfill eschatology. They're trying to position world events in a certain way that would accelerate the collapse of the world, which is what Jeffrey Epstein did. Remember, we only have at most 50% of his emails. It's possibly it could be 2% of his emails. We know nothing about what he was doing during 9/11. In fact, you may not know this, but Howard Lutnick, who was chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald, the firm,
His firm
that
was
was
600
destroyed.
dead, about 1/4, 3,000
But
deaths.
miraculously,
He wasn't there.
he and his brother were not there.
Right. And he's the current Secretary of Commerce under Trump today. Next door neighbors to Epstein. Epstein lived in building 9. Howard Lutnick lived in building 11.
So right? Like what a strange coincidence that is. 9/11, right?
Yeah.
So we can assume that there was involvement. Jeffrey Epstein was involved in 9/11. And he was involved with Libya. He was involved with the 2008 great financial crisis. So this guy was clued in on all these geopolitical events. So who was this guy, and what was he doing? And if you think about it, it's very similar to what Jared Kushner is doing today, right? Where Jared Kushner is working in finance. He's got $2 billion from the Saudis, and now he's manipulating events in the Middle East. And again, the point is to bring about the end times, which is what Tucker Carlson talked about.
Right.
And you can't talk about this because Chabad Lubavitch is apparently a very sensitive topic. I watched Tucker Carlson's discussion, and he didn't really say anything. Okay, I mean, it was not that. I mean, it was just all publicly available information about Chabad Lubavitch, and he was attacked constantly online for just mentioning Chabad Lubavitch, right? But if you want to understand how everything works, just go do an investigation about Chabad Lubavitch. Look at their eschatology. Yeah. Look at Rabbi Sneerson and what he did. There's a very famous video online of Rabbi Sneerson talking to Netanyahu. And this is in the 1980s, guys. This is in the 1980s. And Sneerson's like, the Messiah. We have to bring him back. So let's speed it up, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All very good points. It just reminds me of. It just makes me think that one of the reasons why they killed Charlie Kirk was because he was so well spoken, so easy to understand. He would have been we didn't really listen to him back then, but we would all probably be listening to him now. This guy has a lot of good information, but him, like RFK, it's hard to understand. It's just kind of hard to follow what he says sometimes. His delivery is off. Magooch, what's going down? I didn't know that I'm going to drop my shit off at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, for the laundry? Yep. Who knew it was a big laundry service, right? I do think that his wife and kid live in Miami. Netanyahu. Pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure they're under Secret Service protection in Miami, which is just hilarious. Hope you're doing good. But they've been so good at propaganda. If you say anything against Israel, you are the enemy. You are racist. You are anti-Semitic. You are evil. You are you deserve the death penalty. You know what I mean? And apparently you're anti-American now, if you think that.
A number of our firefighters have all across our country. And I just want to say that if you are the praying type, and I certainly am, I hope you'll spare a prayer for the 6 souls that we lost, for the 7th soul who will be coming home tonight, and for all of their families. You all know better than almost any category of Americans what it means to put on a uniform and to sacrifice for our country. And so I hope you'll share a moment of prayer for our brother.
And that was JD.
Number of our fire.
Number 7. And if it continues, it's just going to go to the thousands. It's, if it's boots on the ground, it's just, Iran is so much bigger than Iraq. It's huge. It's not like they haven't been preparing for this forever, Don't love how they call them souls for special effect. Don't you love how they call them souls for special? Yes. Yep. Dying for America. But if you ask me, or anybody, what are we fighting for? What are we fighting for? I don't know. I would say Israel, for their cause, for oil. Iran has sent a warning to President Trump. How about $200 a barrel?
از دولت‌های کشورهای اسلامی انتظار می‌رود هرچه سریعتر آمریکای جنایتکار و رژیم وحشی صهیونیستی را از چنین اقدامات بزدلانه ضد بشری برحذر دارند تا شعله‌های آتش و جنگ بیش از این گسترش نیابد. در غیر این صورت اقدامات مشابهی در منطقه صورت خواهد گرفت و اگر
So $200 a barrel does not sound good. I mean, we're probably talking like $10 a gallon or more. Vegas Loop safely moved 82,000 passengers at the amazing Connex Construction Trade Show. Turn the music on.
How was your experience? It was so colorful and fast, and I realized it was already happening here.
I like it. I loved how you guys did the curved tunnel. Those were very difficult to do.
Nice to avoid the traffic up top.
This thing's freaking sweet, man. I'll get you from place to place real quick, versus waiting in line or ride the bus.
Shout out to Elon.
I'd like to see it all over the city.
Me too.
The Vegas Loop. And the Vegas Loop connects like the Aria. Let me see here. What all does the Vegas Loop connect to? I mean, it is kind of cool. The Boring Company. Right now it's partially built. So it's not all the way done. The currently operating section mainly serves the Las Vegas Convention Center, West Hall, Central Hall, South Hall. Parts of the loop now extend beyond the convention center and connect to nearby resorts, Wynn, Encore, Resorts World. When it's done, it's going to go from Mandalay Bay to Treasure Island, Fremont Street, UNLV, in downtown Las Vegas. I don't know. All right, what else do we got? Tom Green explains the Dunning-Kruger effect.
The Dunning-Kruger effect. Did you know that people with very limited knowledge often overestimate their own intelligence? The Dunning-Kruger effect. Did you know that people that quote the Dunning-Kruger effect and explain what the Dunning-Kruger effect is are often morons? Wait a minute.
I had to play that because my buddy and I bring up the Dunning-Kruger effect on a weekly basis. You know, we joke that we each other has it, or we point it out when somebody really has it, because it's so true. You know, it's just somebody that, you know, what is the official explanation? What is the Dunning-Kruger effect? Basically, you think you know more than you do, type of thing. So I'm probably kind of borderline there sometimes. People who know very little about a topic often think they know a lot because they lack knowledge or skill in a subject, tend to overestimate how much they actually understand. A simple example. Imagine someone who just watched 2 YouTube videos about investing. They might think, I totally understand the stock market now. So, as opposed to someone who's actually studied finance might say, there's still a lot I don't know. So, it's out there. It's a real thing. What else we got here? Yeah, this is crazy. 2 days after. So there's a video of Tyler Boyer saying, is he played in here? So Tyler Boyer went on these news stations and said that everybody thought that Charlie was going to be president of the United States one day. But then he says, but Charlie would always say that he thought Erica was going to be president of the United States one day. Are you fucking kidding me? He never said that. None of us even knew who Erica Kirk was before this all happened. But anyway, so it would make sense that if they had a Kirk Vance ticket for 2028 before Charlie Kirk got assassinated, that would make sense. Because Charlie Kirk and JD Vance, 2028. But somebody registered the KirkVance.com or KirkVance2028.com domain name 2 days after Charlie Kirk was killed. And now people are trying to promote Erica to be the president. So let's let Barron explain it a little bit better.
When the election day rolled around, he would have only been qualified to be president of the United States. And you have to be qualified to be president, to be vice president. He would have only been qualified to be president of the United States for 1 month, less than 1 month. He would have only been 35 in 1 month. So maybe they put this website up when Charlie was still around, or maybe they've just recently put it up. Well, I'm going to tell you, we can answer exactly when this website was purchased. We can tell you when this website was created. And the date will shock you. The date will shock you. My dog's about to bark. I hear her grumbling in the microphone. Here is when the website was created. You see this down here? This is the created date. This website was created on September 13th, 2025. September 13th, 2025 at 2 a.m. Universal Time, known as Zulu Time. If you do the math, that equals 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. West Coast Time on September 12th, 2025. September 12th, 2025. Somebody finds out Charlie Kirk has been taken out on the afternoon of September 10th. And then on the evening, about 50 hours later, 52 hours later, maybe 57 hours later, 55 hours later, body's still very much cooling down. Someone goes out and buys VanceKirk2028.com. Now, I want you to transport your mind back to September 12th of 2025. We're just now seeing the first images of the alleged Tyler Robinson walking around. We're just seeing the Ring doorbell footage. We're just seeing the footage where he leapt off of the Losi Center. Nobody knows who Erica Kirk is. She has just given her first speech where anyone even learned her name. And that was where she was dressed all in white, standing behind Charlie's chair, or next to Charlie's chair, in his studio. And somebody ran out and bought this website. Now, here's what we can't do. We can't say who bought it. We don't know who bought it. But was anyone on earth under the impression at that moment that Erica Kirk's profile would be elevated to such a high level as to seriously be considered for vice president of the United States? Was there anybody?
No, there was not. Dang, I just took a bite of my bread right when that video ended. I bought a loaf of organic sourdough at the event yesterday. She had artesian and she called it sandwich sourdough. I bought that one. It's like a pillow. I just easily just tore a piece off of it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love sourdough with some olive oil. I can't wait to order some from Gianni. My granddaughter is home. I went over there after I got done yesterday and hung out with her for a couple hours. Played on the trampoline. We played lava. The floor was lava. They got some YouTube show that it'll tell you 3, 2, 1. The floor is lava. So we're jumping on the couches. We're going to go out for pizza tonight. So, yeah, my Barbie partner is back. Yeah, it was fun. It was good to see her. And then they were going to have her birthday party on Saturday, but they moved it to Sunday, which works even better for me because I have an event Saturday. Yeah, no, good times. It was good to see her. My daughter and I were talking about the vacation we're going to take this summer. Do we want to do a cruise? Do we not want to do a cruise? She really wants to go to Hawaii, which I'm down with. I'm way down for that. She says she's Disneyed out for now. I said, well, what about Disneyland? She goes, yeah, we haven't been there yet. She goes, I'm Disneyed out from the Disney cruise. She goes, I got to take a break from Disney for a minute. So it's either going to be a Royal Caribbean cruise to the Caribbean or Hawaii, more than likely. Those are probably the top two options right now. But yeah, it was fun to see him. Good to see him yesterday. But that, with the whole Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk thing, it's just too weird.
When the election day rolled around, he would have only been qualified to be president of the United States. And you have to be qualified to be president, to be vice president. He would have only been qualified to be president.
It's just too weird that anybody would think that Erica Kirk is, why would they register that 2 days after he died? This whole thing just smells like a rat, big time. Jews are fleeing Israel in record numbers. Turns out the promised Holy Land, when Israel is blowing up Gaza and stealing people's houses. But the moment bombs drop, they flee. I'm pretty sure we've all heard those guys joke about killing Palestinians, and now they're fleeing like rats. This dude dropped a bomb by New York cops. I don't know if you guys heard about that. I didn't really hear too much, but I think I have another story about it. Robot making a bed. Not sure if this is AI or not. Could be. Definitely looks AI. Something we could probably see one day, though.
Get this straight. Charlie Kirk had no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site or grave, no official death certificate. Why has no official autopsy been conducted? nor any findings released, no ballistics report, not a single eyewitness on the record, and an award-winning widow already taking over his show. Why was the entire crime scene destroyed within hours, erasing vital evidence? They tore down everything, including the Dairy Queen. Why were there no paramedics on the scene? Why was Charlie Kirk's body removed and illegally flown out on Air Force Two? Why did Donald Trump pardon a Navy SEAL killer whose shadow looms over this case? Why was the stadium mysteriously booked by Turning Point 4 months before his death? How was a massive high-tech stadium memorial produced in only 11 days? Why do multiple women publicly appear as Erica Kirk, raising questions of identity? Why are there no birth certificates for their children? No names revealed, no faces ever shown? Where is a video of Charlie playing with his kids at a birthday party, or picnic, or any other family setting? Why do Freemasonic and satanic symbols surround this tragedy with chilling precision? Interesting that the gun was found on property owned by Palantir. Isn't it interesting Kash Patel fired many of the heads of the FBI in that area days before the shooting? Do you find it interesting that Charlie sold his house 8 months ago for $5 million? If the father of your 2 young children was just brutally murdered for the world to see days ago, do you leave them home with the nanny while you go on podcasts grinning from ear to ear? Is it not curious that a 17-year-old first-time Donald Trump beauty pageant contestant won, and now Trump appointed a top attorney general woman who has no experience, who was also in his beauty pageant? This is only a fraction of the clues and evidence on this psyop. For those of you brave enough to look at the evidence while removing the
Yep, and it just goes on and on and on and on. What a shitty psyop it is, too. An explosive attack occurred over the weekend, being treated as an ISIS-inspired terrorism.
That we can confirm this morning that this is being investigated as an act of ISIS-inspired terrorism. I can also provide some additional information building on my remarks from Saturday evening. At that time, we were beginning to conduct preliminary analysis of 2 devices that were ignited and deployed earlier that day, one in a crosswalk on East End Avenue and East 87th Street, and the other on the west side of East End Avenue between East 86th and East 87th Streets. That testing was performed by the NYPD's bomb squad and FBI special agent bomb technicians in consultation with an FBI chemist.
Oh, they definitely trained her well. She's got that raspy sense of urgency voice. You know, she's got that shortness of breath, like, oh man, we're hot on the trail right now. This is like an active investigation. All a bunch of bullshit. What does ISIS inspired mean? You know, what does that mean? I seen a guy run up and drop something next to the cops and run. That's ISIS inspired? Makes no sense. We'll move on. Oh, speaking of sourdough.
I love all of this. I have to ask you a quick question. We only have 2 minutes left.
Sure.
Can we eat bread or can't we?
I prefer sourdough bread. Here's the thing about bread. So really quick.
Yes.
Most bread is
So
fortified.
tell me the truth. Can I have a slice of sourdough bread
Yes.
here? And
Oh,
there?
sourdough, all you want. With all the butter you want, by the way.
all I
We need to
want?
stop blaming the butter for what the bread did. Just the fortified
Great.
or enriched bread. No. Sourdough, absolutely yes.
That's great.
That was probably
news.
worth
That's
the whole
best thing I've
show
heard
right
the whole
there.
Hour. I love all of this. I have to ask you a quick question. We only have 2 minutes left.
Sure.
Can we eat bread or can't we?
So I love to hear that. I love sourdough. This is Trump with Barron when he was a little boy.
See? That's Barron. He's strong, he's smart, he's tough, he's vicious, he's violent. All of the ingredients you need to be an entrepreneur. And most importantly, hopefully he's smart, because smart is really the ingredient. So Barron, good luck. You have a long way to go. Uh-oh, you won't give up the mic.
Yep, and now Barron's all grown up, and he can go out there and fight in that war right now. So send your kid out there and make him the number 8 casualty, Trump. Since this is such an important cause for America, get your kid out there. How come he's not in the military? The Senate is talking about, well,
the recommendation engine for YouTube recently suggested videos claiming that politicians, celebrities, and other elite figures were sexually abusing or consuming the remains of children, often in satanic rituals, according to watchdog group Algo Transparency. The claims echo and often cite the discredited Pizzagate conspiracy, which 2 years ago led to a man firing shots into a Northwest Washington, D.C. pizzeria in search of children he believed were being held as sex slaves by Democratic Party leaders. One recent variation on the theory, which began spreading on YouTube this spring, claimed that Democrat Hillary Clinton and her longtime aide Huma Abedin had sexually assaulted a girl and drank her blood, a conspiracy theory its proponents dubbed frazzle drip. Now, the article goes on to describe how this frazzle drip conspiracy is all over YouTube, and some of the frazzle drip clips purport to show grainy images of Clinton and Abedin committing crimes and speak of invoking the death penalty. One video, which has been viewed 77,000 times and remains online today, has a voiceover that says, "Will these children become the dessert at the conclusion of the meal?" So, and this is just one example that they use of extreme right and paranoid conspiracy groups using YouTube as a place to trade their videos and to promote propaganda.
And Hillary Clinton, during her deposition, made reference to the Pizzagate being responsible for that guy going in and shooting up the pizzeria. There's no way in hell that some cockamamie conspiracy theorist cooked up some bullshit story like this that made it all the way to Hillary Clinton's deposition. It's not possible. And on the Senate floor, wherever that was at, it's just not possible. There's definitely some truth to it. What exactly happened? Who knows? But it is why we are bombing the shit out of Iran right now, so they don't have to talk about it. President Trump is demanding oil tankers show some guts and go through the Strait of Hormuz.
So, Brian, you did a phone interview with the president of the United States. What is his read on this?
So I asked him, how do you get that? How do you get the prices down? I know how much you care about oil and gas. And he says, tell these tankers to get to it. We've wiped out most of their launchers. Here's exactly what he said. These ships should go through the Strait of Hormuz and show some guts. There's nothing to be afraid of. They have no Navy. We sunk all their ships. He went on to say, he said, look, yeah, there's risk in the region. The region's volatile. They are launchers. There's just about 150 left. That's just about 20% of totals. They can't regenerate. They can't make any more. And we are in the region ready to act quickly on all these type of attacks. Now, I think they're going to get some additional naval assets in there to do some escorting. But there was a tanker that came through yesterday. Successfully. Successfully. No problem. And he's saying, come on, guys, get to it.
The guy that just bought the UFC, Ari Emanuel, his dad's one of the creators of terrorism, and it's like I used to always get free UFC tickets. I stopped getting those for some reason. I can't figure out why.
Wow. Wait, what does his dad do?
Ari Emanuel, his dad was one of the founders of the world's first terrorist organizations.
Oh, wow.
I think it was the Igun, I don't know if I'm saying it right. They bombed the King David Hotel, killing 91 people.
Oh, I know what you're saying now.
Yeah, that's who brought terrorism to the Middle East, not Muslims.
Oh yeah, 100%. They've been using it for decades. I mean, everybody remembers in the 90s, and it was in the 90s before the Gulf War and Operation Desert Storm, where Bibi Netanyahu and other Israeli officials were literally saying they have weapons of mass destruction, they are gonna nuke us. Our poor Jewish state, like, please protect us, even though you send us billions per year illegally. But then he did that in 1990s, and then obviously he did it again.
The guy that just bought the UFC,
To say, we're joking.
He wanted Erica to be his successor. Days. Some of them had told me that Charlie always joked if something terrible happened, he wanted Erica to be his successor. What differences do you see between the leadership of Charlie and when Erica does take over officially?
Yeah, I mean, Erica's already there. Erica and Charlie are one. Charlie is one with Erica. So it's such a natural fit. He had always looked up to Erica. He had always boosted Erica. Everyone always said Charlie would be president. Charlie always said that Erica would be president. So, we have the person that Charlie believed in and loved the most in this world as leader, and nothing here organizationally and operationally changes. And so we're really excited to keep doing the work. We know
sister of them. There's one here that I've sort of done the other day called Tiny Dancer, which is about Bernie's girlfriend. It all starts off, blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band. Her smile, pretty eye, you marry your music man. Ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sand. And now she's in me, always with me, tiny dancer in my hand. That sort of changes, you see, to this verse. Oh, I feel so real, different tempo. I ain't here with no one near, only you, and you can't hear me when I say softly, slowly, and it all builds up. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway.
So I thought that was kind of cool. Old school Elton John. Val Kilmer, before he passed away, saying he was not offered a lot of movie deals because of his behavior on set.
But I had ideas, insecurities, obviously, about myself that I projected onto the movie business. Just the sounds coming out of my mouth. It was just absurdly unrealistic. So apparently, I have an evil twin.
But do you think that people found it difficult to work with you because of that?
What's the one past difficult? Impossible?
Impossible.
Yeah, I'm kind of blacklisted. I haven't gotten a studio job in 15 years.
So you feel in a way that you are banned from the...
No, not in a way.
You are?
Yeah, I think.
Are your goal to get back, or?
Yeah, I'd love to. I've always watched movies and wondered what I'd be like in that part.
If you get back, will you behave in another way, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the way that gets me hired again. I was very outspoken about very specific things about the art. But it's a business. And I acted like it wasn't.
Because you are an actor.
Dumb. I was a dumb actor. But I did complain quite a bit when I was younger. I didn't appreciate the business that afforded me the lifestyle that I very quickly enjoyed. Very quickly. I starred in my first movie. I was the lead in the first play I did professionally. And now that I don't have that privilege, I wish that I loved more. I want to be a better person. I try to figure that out every day and of being more grateful.
Yep. Rest in peace to Val Kilmer. He would have been good in a lot of movies. It's sad what happened.
But I had.
This guy, Professor Zhang, tells Sneeko that he left Patrick PBD on his emails on read after he realized his podcast invite was a setup. Not a fan of PBD.
Patrick Bet David, I recently saw he's like trying to copy your lectures a little bit. Maybe you didn't see, but this is a good example of a Western Iranian. He comes to America and encourages this war, but then he's not going to fight in there. He's not going to enlist. He doesn't go back to Iran with not going to fight in the war. Are these examples of Mossad paid influencers, or are they just completely brainwashed and don't know how to submit to the fact that Trump completely lied about everything he said he was going to do in this campaign?
So Patrick David, he actually got in touch on Monday. He wanted to interview me. He wanted me on his show. And what happened was that was the same day that there was a concerted online campaign against me. Like it was just weird in that I went on Twitter and like everyone was attacking me, and like it was the same talking points. So I'm like who are these people, and why is this happening all at the same time? So that interview request from Patrick Bet David, I'm like this must be a setup.
Yeah,
he wants me on a show so that he can provoke me into something really stupid.
Patrick Bet David, I recently saw he's like trying to copy your lectures a little bit. Maybe you didn't see, but this is a good.
Yeah, he's a shill. Mossad agent. All that. Clinton and Barack and Joe Biden. ALV, good morning. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Jesse Jackson's son is not happy that Obama, who he calls a sellout, hijacked his dad's funeral. And Al Sharpton wasn't very happy about it because he didn't know that he was going to say that. But
I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice that at no point in time ever sold us out as a people. And it speaks volumes about who the Reverend Jesse Jackson was.
so I think that was mostly directed at Barack. All right, those are the last
ideas.
those are the last videos I have. I got some Jeopardy if you guys want to play some Jeopardy real quick. History. Mastering Italian cooking. This is the first category.
I turned my love for animals into a thriving business.
I turned my love for animals into a commercial for American Express. You too could have a platinum card and pay 33% interest.
Terms and cap apply.
And we'll use a dog for the commercial.
I'm Giada De Laurentiis. You supply the vino and the parmigiano, and I'll give you clues about mastering Italian cooking.
Italian cooking 1,000. Here's Giada De Laurentiis.
Rich in omega-3 fatty acids, anchovy adds amazing umami flavor. But if you hate the texture, try this traditional fermented Italian fish sauce that's just anchovies and salt.
Traditional Italian something, fermented anchovies and salt. He's supposed to be an expert. Yeah, where is Tommy? He was here a minute ago. LV has no clue. That's a tough one. Well, I guess we'll learn something. No one else? Do 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 do. No one knows.
It's called colatura. Back to you, Matt. I don't think I'll be trying that.
Italian cooking 8.
Back to Giada.
One of my favorite dishes to make is a lemony roasted chicken named for this beautiful city on the Gulf of Salerno, whose coast is known for breathtaking views.
Whose coast is known for breathtaking views. That looks amazing. Wherever it is. Look at that place. You know the mob is strong in that town. Man. I don't even remember the question.
Lemony roasted chicken named for this beautiful city on the Gulf of Salerno, whose coast is known for breathtaking views.
Anyone? Anyone? That place looks amazing wherever it is. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Matt. What's Amalfi? Yes. 600.
Amalfi? Never heard of it.
Giada?
The simplest dishes can often be the most satisfying, like this classic Roman dish that uses nothing more than pasta, salted water, pepper, and pecorino romano.
And pecorino romano. I want to say Alfredo, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Looks good. Do 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 do.
Often be the most satisfying, like this classic Roman dish that uses nothing more than pasta, salted water, pepper, and pecorino romano.
Anyone? Anyone? Do 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 do.
James?
What's cacio e pepe?
You're right.
400.
Cacio. Oh, what, Tommy? There it is. Cacio e pepe. He's actually said that in the video. Do you remember that, AOV? He did his. We played the video on here one time. His cacio e pepe. He was eating that. He made a short about it. They are hard, but you're gonna know. I guarantee you'll know these last two because it's the two easier ones. Those ones, I mean, like the last one wasn't only hard. It's like who in the hell would ever even, you know? I mean, no one's gonna eat anchovies and frickin' in a liquid. What the? You'll get these two, I bet.
Giada De Laurentiis?
Literally bone with a hole in Italian. This hearty veal dish needs timed braise to let the marrow and the shanks add rich flavor to the dish.
Matt.
Okay, you should know this one. I thought Stiggs made that name up. I know, me too. Cacio e pepe. Tommy knows his shit when it comes to Italian dishes. He does go eat at those nice restaurants. I gotta go grab some water. I'll be right back. 10 seconds. Nope, we don't know this one.
To the dish.
Matt.
What's osso buco?
Right.
Do not, under any circumstances, bring it.
I will not, but Giada De Laurentiis will bring it. Here's the final clue.
Mincemeat is used in the alla bolognese type of this classic 4-letter sauce, while the alla napoletana, made with a big chunk of beef, is often called Sunday sauce in America.
Oh, I think I know this one. ALV has got a discrepancy. We need bologna sauce, bolognese sauce, bolognese sauce, bolognese sauce, bolognese.
James.
What's ragu?
That is correct. You've pulled off a bit of a comeback after Matt's early lead.
Ragu. What? These people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, ALV, I don't think. And plus, it's Ken Jennings. If it would have been Alex Trebek, the questions wouldn't have been so whatever. You know what I mean? It's like they have to ruin everything with their new whatever you call that. You know, their progressive questions or whatever. It's just so stupid. Why can't they? You know what I mean? Ragu, the jarred crab. Yeah, I guess these were Italian cooking questions for people that aren't Italian. I don't know. All right, I got some more. Let's move on. Hold on 1 second here. Okay, we did the account. Okay, expensive foods. Building, home, State Farm.
Foods.
Expensive foods, 200.
One of these bivalve mollusks from Coffin Bay, Australia, can weigh over 2 pounds and sell for $100.
Bivalve mollusk from Coffin Bay. Not much of a seafood guy, nor do I have money for expensive food. If you want to know all the flavors of top ramen, the different flavors of macaroni and cheese,
Gunan.
What are oysters?
Yes.
Expensive foods, 400.
From animals reared and fed according to strict guidelines, the Wagyu variety of this meat can set you back $75 for a 4-ounce serving.
I know this one. Everybody's got to know this one. Finally, it's going to be one that we all know. Finally, a normal question. These are yuppie food questions. Yeah, but I know you know this one, ALV. From animals reared and fed according to strict guidelines, the Wagyu variety of this meat. Wagyu, which it's probably a lot of fraud Wagyu out there, I bet you. Wagyu steak, right? It's got to be.
Emmy.
What is beef?
Yes.
Food 600, please.
Beef steak.
At only one farm in Sweden, cheese is made from the milk of this largest deer, known as elk over there.
At only one farm in Sweden, cheese is made from the milk of the largest deer known as elk over there. What? It was beef. Yep. They probably wouldn't have given me credit for steak. Cheese is made from the milk of this largest deer. We're not going to know this one. Well, you are a fan of deer. I know that, ALB. You got deer in your yard. But I'm guessing you don't know this one. I mean, we don't have time for everything in life. How can you learn law and be an expert at deer at the same time? You know what I mean? Yeah, they need a new writer. It's true.
Known as elk over there. Gunan.
What is caribou?
No.
Caribou, no. Then what would it be? Reindeer?
Carla.
What is a reindeer?
Also incorrect.
That's what I said. What else could it be? Caribou, reindeer, a moose.
Emmy is not going to take a shot. It's a moose, actually, bigger than either. Back to you, Emmy.
It is a moose. But yeah, you're right. That question doesn't even make sense. I don't even know. I'm just guessing like large deer-like animals.
Food's 800.
The Yubari King type of these gourd fruits are dazzlingly sweet and sometimes go for $5,000 or more each.
Okay, I have no idea, but I'm interested in the answer now. I mean, you got to have more money than sense. You got to be like, you know what I mean? What kind of jerk off is going to buy a $5,000 fruit? What would cost so much? Is why would a moose be called an elk? That's stupid. It is stupid. Any idea on the fruit? A gourd fruit. So it's got to be like a, what do they call those? Like the star fruits or something? Or a pomegranate. Pomegranate, star fruit, dragon fruit, something like that.
Or each. Gunan.
What are pumpkins?
No. Emmy or Carla? They are melons, in fact. Emmy?
Food's 1,000.
A $5,000 melon. Gourd, it grows. Well, yeah, I don't know what is the official definition. I gotta look this up. I thought it was like a pumpkin, like, you know, grows on a vine type of thing. I don't think it has to grow on the ground. What is the definition of a gourd? Is a hard-shelled fruit that grows on a vine, belonging to the same plant family as pumpkin, squash, cucumbers, and melons. It's in the Cucurbitaceae family that has hard outer shell and grows on a vine. They contain seeds inside. Yeah. Who in the hell would buy? Hold on, I got it. What is a $5,000 melon? What type of melon is this? It's probably not even going to answer. The Yubari King is a special type of cantaloupe grown in the town of Yubari. Extremely sweet, perfectly round, very even netted skin pattern. In Japan, the first harvest of the season is often auctioned as a prestige event. The best-looking pair of melons can sell for huge prices because companies buy them for publicity. A pair of Yubari Kings once sold for over $45,000 at auction. Typical retail prices for high-quality Yubari melons are more like $100 to $200 each, sometimes $500 for top-grade gift melons. There's also a $6,000 watermelon and the $10,000 bunch of grapes from Japan. Japan, they always do it up over there. Crazy.
Noted for its sweet aroma and with a name originally from Arabic, this exotic spice can cost thousands of dollars per pound.
I think I know that one, but I probably don't because I think that's $1,000 question. So how am I gonna know that? I'm saying saffron. Any ideas on this one, ALV? I'm pretty sure it's saffron, but I'm probably pretty sure I'm wrong too. Because how could $1,000 question be that easy?
Dollars per pound. Kunin.
What is saffron?
Yes. Looking for more fun Jeopardy?
It is saffron. Maybe I didn't say it right. It was saffron. ALV agrees. All right. Do a couple more, then I'll get out of here. Okay, ALV, we got to know this. Third graders know this stuff.
Hey, third graders know this stuff.
All right. Third graders know this stuff for 600.
The predicate of a sentence tells what this part is or does.
Great. The predicate of a sentence tells what this part is or does. I have no idea. Adjective? I don't even know what predicate means. Is that like saying the initial part of the sentence? Or is that like the punctuation? Action verb. Okay.
Phil.
What is the subject?
Yes.
Third graders for 800.
Subject. Hold on. Let me read this again. The subject of a sentence tells what this part is or does. The predicate of a sentence.
A sentence tells what this part is or does. Phil.
What is the subject?
Yes.
Third graders for 800.
The size of this body part changes depending on the light.
Whoa, be careful with this one. The size of, well, we know this one. Really, it's the subject. You got me. Yeah, it's just hard to understand that question. This one's got to be pupil, right? Eye, pupil, yep.
Depending on the light. Lucy.
What is pupil?
Correct.
Third graders know this stuff for 1,000.
The 15th, 17th, 19th, 23rd, 24th, and 26th ones of these are specifically concerned with voting.
I think I know this one too. I'll actually give the contestants a chance to answer. Do 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 do. Oh, yeah, ALV is going to know this one. I was thinking districts, but you're probably right. Amendments makes more sense.
Lucy.
What are the amendments? Amendments
More specifically,
to the Constitution?
that's it, yes.
Okay. Third graders know this stuff, 400.
Of I'm, they've, your, or won't, the contraction that lost the most letters.
Which one lost the most letters? 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got to be won't, right? This one is just saying like, like won't means will not. So the I, the L, and the O are gone. It's got to be won't. It's a stupid question.
Lucy.
What is they've?
No. Cameron.
What is won't?
Won't, that's it.
Third graders for 200.
0 divided by 6 yields this quotient.
0 divided by 6 yields this quotient. What the fuck is a quotient? I know third graders know this stuff. What third grade class teaches quotient? 0 divided by 6 is what? I don't even know what 0 divided by 6 is. I'm confused. 0? 6? What is 6 divided by a 0? 0 divided by a number is what? 0? No way a third grader knows this. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what a quotient is either. I'm going to say 0.
Cameron.
What is 0?
Correct. For more great Jeopardy videos.
So 0 is a quotient. These are just stupid questions. Why would you even call it a quotient?
Hit the subscribe button below.
Now I'm irritated. Okay, I got a couple more though. I'm going to muscle through this. So we got slang. That's Ken Jennings. These are probably all Ken Jennings. We'll do slang.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Yeah, let's just imagine that. Let's be able to build anything just by thinking about it. Okay, build me a job. Build me a house. Build me a government that won't lie to us and bomb schoolgirls. How about that? Base 44. How much that cost?
Slang?
I'll do slang for 1,000.
Somewhat akin to down low is this other low, which can precede goated when X is the vibe.
I can't do it. Can't do it. I'm gonna do one more, but I gotta do Alex Trebek. How do you spell it? Trebek. Jeopardy questions. Fuck that other guy, man. My lord. Football, hockey. The medical file of Alex Trebek. No, I wouldn't need that. Baseball stadiums, we already did that. Famous animals. Sesame Street eats. Sounds kind of gay. Maybe this is just my clue to get out of here. I think so. Kill me with these. Yeah, these questions suck. I'll have better questions next time. I'll have to go through. Alex Trebek only. That's the new rule for my Jeopardy. No more Ken Jennings. Screw that guy. All right, thanks for hanging out, ILV. I'm gonna get my. I'm not lazy. I'm just burnt out. 5 days in a row out selling, and I've made more money in one day. Last year, I made more money in one day a couple times at the market than I made all 5 days combined last week. But you got to take the good with the bad. I guess, you know. So keep grinding away. Gonna have my chocolate strawberries and my banoffee pies in a store on Friday. I got some better packaging coming in the mail tomorrow, and I created a label this morning. I just got to wait for the labels to get here tomorrow, and I'll show you guys pictures. But I'm pretty excited about it because I'm gonna get my chocolate strawberries selling in stores. I got a plan. You know, they can be good for 2 days in the store. And then I'm just gonna, whoever I can strike up a deal with, like with this store, I told her, you know, you buy them at wholesale. If they don't sell after 2 days, keep them or throw them away. I don't care what you do. Just, you know, don't give them away to customers. But and then that's it. And then I'll replace them. And so she's only paying me for ones that sell because they have such a short shelf life. So my plan is to hopefully get enough accounts to where, you know, on certain days I can just go around, you know, the cities around here and just stock everybody up. That's my plan. That's what I'm working on. You have a good day as well. All right, guys. Patty, you as well too. I think she's probably already gone now, but thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time.